Oh my goodness, it's so cold outside. Yeah, especially it's almost getting closer to winter by this point. Hey everybody, this is me, Sylvester here, and I'm Chip here. We are back for the Maxi Toys, and welcome back to Mars Play of New Super Mario Bros. U for the Nintendo Wii U. So last time that we actually did done the first half in Frosty Glacier. Well, that's actually a pretty cute me first picture of a nice little kitty cat. So anyway, so last time that we actually did done the first half of Frosty Glacier, and today for this video, so hopefully we're gonna finish up with Frosty Glacier. So yeah, with that being said though, as soon as we actually make our way to battle against with Windy-O Koopa in that world. But before we do this actually, we're just gonna have to catch Nabbit first in Prickly Goombahs. So yeah, let's just do that first before we actually continue for our adventure. Aha, alright. But even then though, that since we actually be using a Starman yet again, but I'm pretty sure that you know this little notification that when it does originally trying to say to you, caught Nabbit in under 20 seconds or less. Though I'm pretty sure that in order to actually let that thing happen is the fact that you're not supposed to use a Starman during the Nabbit chase sequence, which I found is kind of a little bit too, like, you know, restrictive. But anyway, so before we get into the next level of the game, we're gonna have to actually get some power-ups, mainly the Fire Flower for instance, so that we can actually use the Fire Flower anytime in at certain points throughout this game later on. So yeah, quite surprised at how the much of the fact that since we've almost halfway point of the game already, so even then though we breezed through these stages quite quickly though. Yeah, just like it does in New Super Mario Bros. Wii and New Super Mario Bros. In the DS and New Super Mario Bros. 2 as far as the result. Alright, so here we go with the first, or in this case the next level in Frosty Glacier, another Ghost House level, and this is called Swaying Ghost House. So for this level's gimmick, we're gonna have ourselves to, we're gonna have to deal with those, P-switches, so that, you know, P-switches can actually transform, you know, coins into blocks. In this case, blocks turn into coins and stuff like that, which was usually demonstrated until now. And I think that's about it for the most part what this room's gimmick, or in this case this ghost house gimmick was. It's just basically a P-switch marathon type of syndrome, so yeah, not much else to talk about from that part. So yeah, considerably this is the second ghost house level we've actually explored this time, or in this case the second ghost house level we actually been into so far in this game so far. So this means that the much of the fact that much like how it does in the haunted shipwreck, that we were actually going to come across into a secret exit as well. So yeah, there's not much else we can actually just to speak of from this part. So yeah. So a few things we want to mention about certain things is the fact that recently, that's tomorrow after this video releases, or in this case this episode of New Super Mario Bros. U playthrough is about to be almost during uploaded during now, that Sonic Boom Fire and Ice on the Nintendo 3DS will actually get ourselves a launch day for the UK. Or else they're actually gonna get the Japanese version of the game, Sonic Toon Fire and Ice, will actually go be revealed at some point in let's just say October the 20th, I'm pretty sure, or October 21st, which I'm assuming is about like a month ahead. But anyway, this room is nothing important, it's basically just a roulette block. But where we actually supposed to go is these, you know, these you know, invisible walls that we have to constantly check on. That's the thing, we have to do it a lot of times. But I digress. So as we said earlier, that this level actually contains a secret exit, and how do you know that? Well, you know this little floating cube, or in this case a floating coins, and then if you actually activate the P-switch, and then I highly recommend you to actually use the Flying Squirrel power-up, or I highly recommend you that, because if you don't make it there in time all the way up to the top, like we actually been into this door here, and then what happens is that if you don't make it your time, you only have like one try to do it. Because again, with those P-switches, you only have like one try to do it. So anyway, this will actually lead you to not only the third star coin was actually there, but also the secret exit right there. Because you can tell, gone all foggy in the background, so this means it's a secret exit. Because, you know, it has a red Bowser flagpole or flagpole and stuff. So there you go. So I think that wraps up for that, but we're not done with that entire level just yet though, because we only got a regular exit to deal with now, which that will actually lead you to the you know, the windy old Koopa Castle. So in this case, that might be true from that situation. So yeah. And I believe this actually leads you to the next secret level of the entire game, which it will double check on that until later after we deal with the normal exit in the ghost house level first, which, speaking of such, we might as well do that. So you notice the last section of the level that we've been into, the one we have to deal with the P-switch with the coins turn into blocks, so it acts like a little continuous moving platform. Now you notice there was actually a regular door that will actually lead you to the normal exit. Like, you see why when we get there, so yeah, let's just say that much until we get to it. So yeah. So as far as everything else though, that there's not much else we can actually just talk about for this point, because even though there's only one thing we've mentioned is the Sonic Boom Fire and Ice will about to come out tomorrow from the Nintendo 3DS in UK release date. So as far as the reviews on that particular game, that it has been slightly well received, or slightly well, way better than Shadow Crystals was, but I still even think that, in my opinion, that Shadow Crystal is a bit funner, and as well as I actually really looking forward to Fire and Ice about to be arriving until tomorrow, as I said. But even then though, I still really despise Rise of Lyric pretty much, because, god, the glitches, the antagonist, Lyric, doesn't make any much of a difference between, I don't know. So, let's just not talk about Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric though, let's just go ahead and talk about more on New Super Mario Bros. U for the time. Conveniently enough though, we actually did manage to complete the stage twice without taking any damage, which is quite incredible if you ask me. So anyway, so before we actually enter in this the next castle and the next Koopaling battle we have to face off against, we have to actually get rid of this spare mini mushroom so that we can actually use the mini mushroom until later. But we're not going to talk anything further that just yet though, because anyway, here we are to the secret level in Frosty Glacier, and this is known as Flimpires Flake. So for this level right here, we're actually going to introduce into a new type of enemies in the Mario franchise. It also makes a return in Mario Party 10 in Ice Slide, U Slide minigame, which is involving a lot of dodging on, emphasis on dodging these flimpers and some snowballs and whatnot. But here we have ourselves Flimpers right here, and basically what these enemies can do is that, as you can see, they actually chuck these snowballs at us. So, and then what's the only part I found is kind of tricky at first, at least for me anyway, is the fact that sometimes they actually, just to be more likely to appear the snowball way too earlier. But even then though, I don't find these enemies too much of a pain as much as the Hammer Bros are. So anyway. So yeah, as we said earlier, shoot. But yeah, with the snowballs, when they appeared on screen way too early, that means you're actually gonna get hit by the snowball quite a bit, especially if it likes of these trickier segments like these, for instance. And also, not to mention, the entire premise of this level here is the fact that we actually have to deal with those raising crates right here, so that every time when you're trying to dip up, or in this case if you're trying to stand on it, and then if you actually just jump up, the crates, a loaf of crates from they actually float on water, can actually provide you to actually just crap, whatever. But at least we got 77 one-ups, so that means we only got about 22 lives remaining until we get our maximum of 99 lives, and also 99 of the digit number timer, so that means we can get a freebie item. I wonder what item we can get, probably. Well, regardless of such though, we only got Starman, but somehow our item inventory is now full up, so this means we're gonna have to get one of our replicas of our Starmans at the moment, so yeah. And just like how it does in Sparkling Waters Skyward Stock level, this will actually lead you to, you know, this little spine coaster right there that appears on the wall map. You know, this rail tracks and what have you. I think this will actually lead you to this mountain level, but again, we're not going to go in there just yet though, because again, we're just about to 100% complete it. So anyway, so before we actually do anything else, let's just take out the flying squirrel Mario so that we can actually use that to go to the castle level, but unfortunately though, we have to deal with those penguin enemies though first. So hopefully we can actually get these guys done in time. Ah, shoot. Things doesn't turn out well. It doesn't help when these things can happen, and especially we died. So yeah, that's what happens if you actually got, if you lose a life by an enemy encounters right there, you get kicked out, so... You know, just like how it does in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, though, simply put. So, in this case, though, since we die on that enemy encounter, so that means we can actually bypass him. So anyway, Wendy's Shifting Castle. In this case, Frosty Glacier's castle. So, basically, in this level right here, we're actually going to have to deal with those tilting platforms, as you can see. As well as that, though, we're actually going to be coming across into the enemies that we haven't seen for a while for this game. In this case, in New Super Mario Bros. Since New Super Mario Bros. 2, here we have Fromps. As well as the long-time, returning enemy from Super Mario World, here we have, Flimps. And also, it also makes a return from, Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the Game Boy Advance, if you're wondering actually included that game. Oh yeah, exactly, because, you know, that, I'm pretty sure the level that, the Flimps are on, they are in, the Ghost House, or in this case, Spooky House, as far as the level called it, on, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. For the Game Boy Advance anyway. So yeah, that's far as I can see the differences between, you know. So, they behave exactly like how it does in Super Mario World. They can actually bounce onto these, bounce over for certain parts of the ground anyway. And then eventually, that you're actually trying to jump even a bit higher enough. So this means you're trying to, yeah, you know, trying to hurt you or trying to kill you. So just be careful most of the time, because especially noticeable when you're going to these trickier timing jump sections like this, like we're actually going to be approaching all to the second star coin, but then after grabbing it, we have to carefully go back into the green pipe you go, and then hopefully though that we won't die as much as the hasty moments where, you know. So let's just see what item we can get. We got a regular mushroom, so that's fine. Goodness gracious me. So yeah, we have ourselves some shifting platforms to deal with now. If you enter this green pipe down there, I think this will actually lead you something well hidden. Oh no, I did that too early. Yeah, that was kind of my fault, because I did that too early. So what you're actually supposed to do here is the fact that I think you need to let this shifting platform just to go a bit, like, just to change the directions a bit. So that being said, if the well, actually, let's showcase the PA core and how this works basically. So let's just go ahead and use that, so that we can actually demonstrate how this thing works. So you remember the flying squirrel power up that you can actually use during the earlier one. Well, this power up right here, flying squirrel power up, feels very similar to how it does it for the regular flying squirrel power up, except that, taking a note from, Super Mario Bros. 3's, P meter, especially for New Super Mario Bros. 2's P meter from the raccoon power-up, you can actually fly in, or in this case, glide infinitely, and then as a result, if you're actually just about to come, or dipping down or what have you, you have, unlimited amount of momentum, so that's actually pretty handy though, especially when you come to the tricky sections. In fact, we actually lost a power-up though, so that's just only for a demonstration of how the P acorn actually works. In this case, the P flying squirrel power up. So yeah, but even then though, that power exactly feels really similar to how it does it for the regular flying squirrel power up, except you can fly infinitely, and on this case, you can actually glide infinitely without any sort of losing momentum when you're actually just dipping down for a few moments. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Especially when you actually it comes in really handy with that particular power-up if you're having a lot of trouble with certain levels, like some trickier levels where we actually get into just in a minute, or in this case, at some point in the future for this Let's Play, so, yeah. And as a result though, we're gonna have to dodge a lot of Fromps right here. Shame there's no wumps in this installment, unlike how it does in New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, and especially noticeable in New Super Mario Bros. 2. But I don't know why there has been absent in the console New Super Mario Bros. Game though. But I digress though. So again, the Koopaline battle we're about to be fighting against in Frosty Glacier is Windy Old Koopa. So you know that in New Super Mario Bros. Wii and New Super Mario Bros. 2, that we don't have to worry about this water type gimmick that we have to deal with. So instead, this time around though, we have to deal with her with ice physics. So this means this can be a little bit tricky though, especially when she actually spits out some rings, just like in Super Mario Bros. 3 in World 3, in the Waterland anyway. And especially noticeable, you don't touch those pointy icicles at the top, because if you do accidentally touch that, especially if you actually have it as a height jump with you, you're pretty much gonna be like get your kicked butt. So as well as from that though, be careful if you actually don't slip onto Windy Old Koopa herself. So this means you should be able to be just as fine well enough, but just be careful of those little sharp icicle parts at the top of the ceiling. Sadly, no notification like collect all the 3 stars and star coins and what have you, because we somehow died while we actually touched the checkpoint and what have you. So anyway, so 4 worlds down and only 3 Koopalines to go, and 3 more worlds to go, or in this case 4 worlds so to speak, in case if you probably already noticed by the fact. So yeah, we actually collected all the star coins in Frosty Glacier, so how about that? So yeah, let's go ahead and save our progression here. So, we're gonna have to end things off here. So next time on Let's Play New Super Mario Bros. U for Nintendo Wii U is the fact that we can actually go ahead and just move on to the next new world in the game, which appears to be a jungle world down there. But I don't know what's up with this little log stump right there. Maybe we should just go ahead and investigate it. So yeah, let's just check it out.